Good day. Thank you for joining us. It's August 7th and we just left Frank and Dora's roadside takeout. I suppose you can eat in too. It's a great little spot. It's kind of on nostalgia overload, to be honest. If you look around the dining area and around the seating area, or really anywhere where the picnic tables are, the whole property is just everything from the 50s till present day. Toys, license plates, gas pumps. It's nostalgia overload. It's everything. If you don't take a drive there, have a burger in it, bring back just a flood of childhood memories. I really don't know what to tell you.
It's a fun spot.
But it is it's a very fun spot. And if you're lucky enough to get a parking spot towards the back, the back of the parking lot, it overlooks the old railway bed, which has since been removed, which is now a really nice walking trail and ATV trail. But it also overlooks the Annapolis Basin Tidal Park Beach, which is a relatively nice beach. It's nicer when the tide is a little bit further up. It tends to get a little bit muddier the further down the tide gets, but it's a beautiful spot nonetheless. A great little spot for probably taking in an evening sunset or having a little walk with the dogs on a day that might be a little bit too hot inland. But be wary and mindful of your pet's paws while walking there, because it's a saltwater beach. There's when you get down into half tide or better, you're going to start seeing some shells, some clam shells, some winkle shells, stuff like that, and you want to be mindful of your pet's paws. But we're going the opposite direction from that beach today, and we're heading out inland, out to the lake, and going to swim off a couple of these burgers. It's going to be way too hot to be...
Ice cream and pup cups.
Yeah, and the ice cream, and Abby can swim off a few pup cups. But it's definitely going to be too hot to be stuck inside the cottage. So we'll probably be dipping in and out of the water for the majority of the day, and I think that's kind of going to be the perfect recipe. And we're currently on the Mary Jane Riley Road, and that goes from Cornwallis, and it'll take you up into Bear River East. just a small little community on the outside of Bear River. And just before you get to Clementsville, a lot of old farm fields and old farmhouses and a few historic properties that have kind of been transformed.
It's a good place to grow up.
Yeah, not a bad place to grow up, I guess. Nice and quiet. Good place for kids.
And horses.
Yes, lots of horses. Beautiful place for if you're a horse owner. Not such a great place if you're like me and you're kind of, for some reason or another, afraid of horses. I can't even come up with a good reason why. It's just, they got so much power, I think is the whole thing. Like,
And they're big.
yeah, they got so much size and they possess so much power. And you have to put a lot of trust, like, I don't know, you're putting a lot of trust in an animal that big.
I think you'd change your mind if you spent any time around them, though.
Probably.
Yeah. Get to see the personality.
And that's it. I had never really spent a lot of time around horses myself as a kid or even growing up. It was always you seen them in passing, and I don't know. I guess things you're not familiar with, you tend to become fearful of, maybe. It's a nice old red barn.
It's the best.
Oh, some small hay bales. We come through here not too long ago. And then we cut down in through Clementsville on our way up into Annapolis. But we're gonna keep on going past where we went last week or a couple weeks ago. And we're gonna take our time on our way out to Ravenhaven, which is on Sandy Bottom Lake. And one of the beautiful things about Ravenhaven is they offer, if you're lucky enough and you're early enough, you can get kayaks, and I'm not too sure about paddle boards, but I do know that they have kayaks and possibly canoes for, like, you can just sign them out. You don't have to rent them, which is great, because if you go back in my channel, in my playlist, you can see a couple really nice paddles that are available. Nice little spots to go for paddles while you're down in Sandy Bottom. So after the Mary Jane Riley Road, we turned on to the Clementsville Road. And that's what we're currently still on. And these would just be the back roads of Annapolis and Digby County, really. Which used to be the main right-of-ways, or main roads way back in the day. We're about 100 feet back. We have some friends that are trying to keep up to us.
I thought we lost him.
We thought we might have lost them a little bit behind us. They're visiting us from New Brunswick. It's always great. We love to have them over.
Yeah, every year.
They like to come over and have a little bit of lake time and enjoy Nova Scotia and enjoy the puppers and the dogs and everything that small town, small Nova Scotia has to offer. So I'm just kind of going. I might have taken that corner a little slow just to let them grab pace with us there. The old Jeep takes the back roads a little bit better than some cars, I think. And we know where a lot of these bumps and lumps are.
The Jeeps are kind of made for cruising along though.
Oh yeah, Jeeps are great for this type of road.
Yeah.
Back road summer day. There was many years that I couldn't stand to come back on this road though. It almost made me sick to think about it. I cost myself a lot of money on this road one time. I used to have a speedboat when I was younger. Younger and dumber. And me and my wife, she was my wife at the time, but
yeah, it's going back a ways.
Yeah, it's going back, but I had bought a speedboat and I was excited to show it off to her and take her for a ride. And I launched the boat at Raven Haven at Sandy Bottom, and I was at that time I had a cheap Cherokee 4-wheel drive 4x4. There's a 6-cylinder in it. A beautiful Jeep. Me and my father, we bought it wrecked and like did a lot of fiberglass work on it. We completely reconstructed the hatch on the fiberglass, or the fiberglass on the hatch and everything. Made it a beautiful Jeep again. And anyway, I launched my boat at Raven Haven. Took a little bit of fussing to get it going, and it wasn't really acting right. But when it got going, I got my wife in the boat and off down the lake we went. And it was a time when the lake wasn't really that busy. It was, there wasn't a lot of people still at the cabins. It was just, it was kind of dead at the cabin at the lake at that time. And just being short-sighted and with so much going on and excitement that, to get the boat going and get her on the boat, we pulled away from the boat launch and went off down the lake, having a great grand old time. I was thinking I was on top of the world. And after we did a couple runs around the lake and, was pulling back over to the boat launch to call it quits and put her back on the trailer. As we was pulling in, something just didn't look right. And then it dawned to me, I forgot to shut my Jeep off. And the Jeep had just been sitting there on the boat launch, running until it got hot and blew all the press down out of it, and the motor had stopped because it got too hot. And I'm looking at the green stuff in the water thinking, oh my, like, what, like, everything's adding up here at this moment to me of what I've done, everything that I forgot to do. The checklist was not so complete. And I get in, I turn the key, and the Jeep, it started. It didn't sound weird, it didn't make any weird noises, anything. So I shut it off, we loaded the boat, and I started. We started to leave Sandy Bottom, and I can't really remember whether you were with me or whether you were at the if we went to the cabin and I dropped you off, or how it happened, but I got about a half a kilometer back where we just passed, which in total I got about 5 kilometers from the boat launch before my engine absolutely just calved and seized up, and that was it. And there I sat on the side of the road with a speedboat, a trailer, and a Jeep with a seized engine, all because I was too excited to pull away from the dock and take my, at that moment, girlfriend that became my wife. Yeah, I was pretty excited to show off and show out for you. Cost myself thousands.
I thought you were talking about when wasn't it the wheel fell off of the...
Oh, that was a different one.
That's
yeah,
that was I thought you were talking about.
That was a whole different time. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, we'll say. So after all of that happened, I still had the boat, right? I got the Jeep back, and yeah, this would have been the next year. And it was early in the summer, and we were just getting out around the cabin, been out around the cabin a couple times, and when you come into the lake road where our cabin is, there's a rock that has kind of a, if you're not ready for it and you're not knowing about it, it can be quite a violent little bump. It's about 8 inches high, but the face on it is flat. So you either avoid it or, go slow. Well, with the trailer, with the boat, there was no avoiding it, so I was going slow. And I knew, like, yeah, I was going slow. I could tell when I was getting right to the bump, and we hitched up on it. And if you know about, like, boat trailers or the U-Haul trailers like that, the easy hauls, they're kind of all connected together, not so much by welds, but by U-bolts that go up around the 2 sections holding it together, clamped. And when my tire got up to this rock and was gonna get to the moment of lifting and going over, it didn't lift and go over. The U-bolt just sheared, and I just heard this loud screech bang, and I went out, I got out of the Jeep, walked around, and before I could even like get to the back of the trailer, I could just see my boat, and everything is just laying on like a 35-degree angle, and the tire that should be on the driver's side of the trailer, the axle has bent, and the trailer, the axle and the wheel and everything, the whole assembly is now laying lengthways underneath my trailer, only connected on the passenger side of the trailer. So you can imagine the carnage that looked like. And to make it even better, there was a delivery truck from Home Hardware that come in the road like directly after me, like probably 10 minutes later, that was just unapologetic, like in a hurry, and no cares were really given. At which point, like, there wasn't a lot of options, so he had like a come-along winch. Wow, Ravenhaven's busy today.
It's good. It's a great place to be in a heat wave.
So he had a come-along winch, which is basically a set of chains on a big pulley block, and we hooked that to a tree and hooked it to my axle and got the axle straight enough that it was back under the trailer. And then I used lobster rope that I had with me, buoy line and stuff, and I tied that fast to the trailer just so I could get it basically back to my cabin, back to our cabin. And we made do with it at that point. And I believe, in all honesty, that night was the night that I put it for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And like 2 weeks later, we parted ways. And every now and then I see people in the lake with speedboats, and I get that urge, and I'm like, oh, this would be so nice. I really should have a speedboat. And then I replay everything.
It's fun, but it's a money pit.
It's fun. It's a money pit. It's like you can have girls or a car, or you can't have both. Well, you can have a boat, but you can't have none of that. Like, there's none of it you're having when you're having a boat. You that boat is your lady. It's your life. It's your love. It's got to be it all, because it's taking it all up. So yeah, those are life lessons that I learned early, and I learned them the hard way. But I guess it is what it is. I never forgot them, so we'll take that for what it's worth. So with that, we're getting close to our destination. That lake water looks some appealing though.
Yep.
So we thank you for joining us today for this little cruise. It is really hot. It's 30 degrees now. It's just barely lunch. But thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. If you watched until now, I appreciate you so much. But until next time, take care of yourself. Enjoy your days. Try not to waste them. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.